Hey everybody, I'm professional mountain bike rider Jeff Lanoski. If you plan to take your bike off-road, at some point you will get a flat tire. These tips will give you some preventative ideas, all the way up to the, oh my god, I've exhausted all my other resources and I still need to get out of the woods. What do I do? Tip number 1, ditch the inner tube. Most mountain bikes nowadays are tubeless compatible. So by ditching the inner tube, you're gonna decrease the likelihood of getting a flat tire. Inner tubes aren't very strong. When you pinch them between a rock and your rim, you're gonna get a pinch flat. They don't have anything to seal them, so they're just bad news. Let's get rid of them. Since my number 1 tip is going tubeless, you're gonna wanna try to choose the proper sealant. I choose Orange Seal. They support the channel. In the case of Orange Seal, they have the regular standard and they have an endurance. If you're riding a lot and changing your tires often, you're gonna wanna go with standard Orange Seal sealant. That's gonna seal up your tires the best, fill the biggest holes, and get you rolling faster. If you don't change your tires often and you live in dry climates, you're gonna wanna go with the endurance sealant. That's gonna last longer inside your tire. I'm constantly changing tires and I want maximum protection, so I choose to just go with the traditional Orange Seal. If you're running Orange Seal, or even if you're not, you could try these really cool Versa valves. One valve stem that fits any type of wheel. You can customize it with all different color locking caps. So the next thing you can do to decrease the likelihood of you getting a flat is choosing the right tire. I ride for Vittoria, so they make a bunch of different sidewalls. All the other manufacturers make different sidewalls as well. So how do you know how to choose the right one for you? Cross-country tires are gonna have a thinner sidewall. Reason for that is so that it's a lighter tire, less rotational weight, and you're typically riding smoother terrain. It's gonna give you the least amount of flat protection. If you're gonna be riding really rocky stuff, or you're gonna be going downhill super fast, that's when you get into the heavier casings. So in the case of Vittoria, their lighter tire sidewalls are either gonna be tan or gray, and the heavier sidewall tires are gonna be black. That's because there's more rubber in there, more protection. Now there's gonna be a weight penalty when you ride some of those tires. That's something where you'll need to use your local knowledge of the trails that you want to ride. I always used to try to run the lightest tires possible, and I've started to find that it never hurts to be overgunned with your tire casing. I'd much rather finish a ride with a slightly heavier tire and all of my air still in it versus running a super light tire and having to push your bike out of the woods just to save a few grams. Once you've settled on the right tire for your application, I can't stress how important it is to run proper air pressure every time. And the best way to do that is with a really good tire gauge. So either pick up a pump with an accurate gauge or grab a handheld one, but check your tire pressure every time. Do a little experimenting, find out what works best for you, and then stick with it. You set your bike up tubeless, you chose the right tires, you even ran the right tire pressure, and you still got a flat tire. Now you're out on the trail and you have no air in your wheel. What are you gonna do? Well, the first step would be to use a tire plug. Take one of these tire plugs, put it on the applicator, find where the tire is leaking, jam it in the hole. It'll fill up the empty space, and then your tire sealant should do the rest, and it'll get you rolling right away. When you've exhausted plans A, B, C, and D, and you're looking for the ultimate last resort, it's probably gonna be to put a good old-fashioned inner tube back in your bike. A lot of people will put these in their riding packs. They might strap them to their bike frames. And the reason I call this good old-fashioned is because there's something really cool I just found. This is made specifically to be an emergency use inner tube. It's called a tubulito. If you look at it compared to a traditional inner tube, it's so much smaller. There's really no excuse not to have one of these on your bike in an emergency. There you have it. Those are my top tips to not let flats ruin your next ride. I spend so much time on this channel traveling around, riding with different people, all different types of locations, and trying to inspire you to do the same. If you're constantly getting flat tires, it's not gonna be fun for you or the people that you're riding with. Hopefully you can use some of these tips and you found this video useful. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure you click on the link in the description so that you can come along for the ride. And until next time, get out there and be a boss.